Hi everyone. So welcome to the class of text analysis. In the last lecture, we started with how to extract data, right? Or that is called as scraping of data. So we used a website called appify.com and we learned how to extract data from there, right? So as I had shown you that that we can extract several kinds of data from several sources like like YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever, Facebook. So once you extracted the data, we learned that the data that you extract from the social media generally is a very cluttered data, very unstructured data, and it has lot of noise, potential errors in that. So such kind of data is not adequate or is not correct to use for further analysis. In the next after that we started the next lecture we started with cleaning of data. So where we talked about there are various aspects of cleaning, because otherwise if you don't clean the data it will have lot of again those issues. So we cleaned by removing numbers, by converting into lower cases, for example hashtags, so punctuation marks, or anything like white spaces. So we learned that you need to remove this cleaning process, through cleaning you should remove these things so that the text analysis process can become more robust and more smooth. Okay. Today we'll be continuing the same thing. We'll continuing with the pre-processing part of the data, because without pre-processing we understand that the data will have significant errors and it will not give you a very good accurate result. Okay. So most of the text analysis models or the NLP, natural language processing models, you see that they have helped understanding the consumer behavior sentiments in a big way, right? So by understanding the sentiments of people, by understanding the emotions of people, the trends in the market, right, it has improved significantly how businesses are being done and can be done in the future, right? So for all this, before you get into the final data analysis, so the text pre-processing part is very important, because as you say in computer, computer jargon, what comes in, gigo, or garbage in, garbage out. Okay. So if you put in a garbage, then you will get a garbage out, right? So similarly, if your data is clean, you will get a very nice result. Okay. So text pre-processing helps you to improve the data quality, improves the model performance, and reduces the complexity of the entire study. Okay. Some of the applications of text analysis we have seen, also we have discussed in the past, has been like, for example, conducting sentiment analysis to understand the sentiments, moods of the people, the consumers and all, text classification, right, and translation of the language. Okay. So sometimes it also helps in search engine optimization. So all these are different advantages of the text pre-processing. It also, text pre-processing also helps you to go with topic modeling, right, to identify various topics. It also helps you to search better, or let's say when you are searching, for example, you have seen in Google search and all, it helps you to gives you prompts and or some search words. So all these things are only possible because of text analysis. And when you have large documents, how do you understand the meaning of these documents, right? So there also text analysis has become a very important player. Okay. Some of the uses that you can see of text analysis, for example, in India, we can talk about, for example, how the healthcare sector, for example, the various sectors they are using it today, right? For example, e-commerce and banking and financial services, all are using this kind of techniques for a further better, gain. Okay. For example, Flipkart and Amazon like companies, they are using processing customer reviews to understand the insights and the feedback of the people, and to get a better idea of what people like, what people don't like. All these things are helping them very much. Similarly, banking services, for example, HDFC Bank, if you open up a online some net banking or something, you will see some kind of chatbots which are developed. So these chatbots will talk to you, will interact with you, and they will help you to solve your problems. For example, if you have a complaint or you have a issue with your transactions or something. So all these things today, because companies are feeling a human chatbot can do it better, so they are using it, right? Similarly, in healthcare sector also today, it is also possible that you give your reports, send your reports, and through text processing, your reports can be analyzed, and maybe a good suggestion can be given to you as from a healthcare provider. So, all these are various benefits that you get from text processing. Okay. So, let us start this process of text processing today, as we had done for our, if you remember in the last class, we talked about our own research paper that we had published. So, and we had saved a file named as TA1, right. So, that using that output only, we will continue from there how we can do the text preprocessing. So, let us start our today's activity of the text preprocessing, right. So, first is your first line of code that you have to write is exclamation mark pip install nltk, okay, and run this command. Okay. So, this command is used to install a library called nltk, natural language toolkit, in Python. Okay. Now, what is pip? Pip is a package manager for Python. It helps us to install and manage different Python libraries. So, Python has various libraries. So, it is one of those package libraries managers which gives you several such libraries which may be helpful to you. So, in one, if you do not have it, then you cannot install those libraries, right. So, that is why this is important. Install tells pip that we want to add a new library. So, you are in fact telling the machine that you install a particular library that you want. Maybe the library is to clean the data, maybe to remove numbers, to remove stop words, whatever it is, right. So, you can install a library. NLTK is the name of a library which is used for working with human language data like analyzing text, right. So, natural language, so text. So, that is why it has been developed for this purpose, that you can handle text data in a much better way. Okay. The exclamation mark that you saw at the beginning, that is used in the Jupyter notebook to run shell commands directly from a code cell. Okay. Now, we go to the next code, right. So, here we have a few codes. For example, in the the first line in the second code is import pandas as PD, okay. Import NLTK, import NLTK dot corpus, import stopwords. From NLTK dot tokenize, import word underscore tokenize, and the last one from NLTK dot stem, import Porter stemmer. So, if you can remember things like in the past we have already explained, import pandas as PD. Now, this import is used to bring in external Python libraries. So, we can use them in our code. Okay. As we have already said, repeated many times, pandas is a very powerful library for handling data in tables like spreadsheets. Okay. And the pandas is, because writing pandas again and again is very boring and tough. So, we have given a short form as PD. So, instead of pandas writing pandas all the time, we will write PD for it. Okay. Now, import NLTK, the second line. This imports the natural language toolkit library which helps us process and analyze the human text. From NLTK.corpus import stopwords means we are getting something from a NLTK's collection of text resources, that is the natural language toolkits. So, from there we are getting something from this collection of the text resources. Okay. Import stopwords brings in a list of common words like is, the, and, okay, which are often removed. So, they have to be removed because they do not add much of meaning. So, such kind of unnecessary words have no meaning. So, it is better that you remove them. Okay. So, this library helps in there. Then NLTK dot tokenize, import word underscore tokenize. So, we are importing this library again. Now, tokenize, as you must remember, you must be remembering, what does tokenize mean? Now, tokenize means that you are breaking a sentence into meaningful words. Okay. So, each word is it is broken up into different words, right. So, smaller parts or tokens. So, sentence is broken into smaller parts or tokens like words or punctuations. Okay. Now, this is a function, word underscore tokenize is a function that splits a sentence into individual words. For example, let me explain you. There is a sentence which is I love programming. Now, output, when you use this tokenization, what is the output? I love, I is one word, love is another word, programming is another word. So, it is divided, right. Okay. Now, let us look at the next line. So, the next line is saying from NLTK dot stem import Porter stemmer. So, he is asking the machine to import the library Porter stemmer. Now, if you remember, what is stemming? we had done lemmatization and stemming. So, stemming is nothing but reducing words to their root form. Okay. Now, Porter stemmer is a tool that changes words like running to run, okay, or happily to happy. So, making analysis much easier. So, stemming is trying to bring it all the words which are related to a common form. In fact, that is the main purpose, so that the machine can understand it better. Okay. After you have done with this stemming, right, but stemming also has challenges, remember it. Now, what are the challenges? Sometimes some words may, when you bring it to the root form, they may be completely different. For example, universal and university. So, the root form, when you bring it to the root form, it will become universe, but the meaning will be extremely different. So, this is one of the challenge with stemming, and that is why we a new library which is, or an improvement has been brought over it, which is the lemmatization. Okay. Now, after this, the next library is nltk.download punkt, right, and nltk download stopwords. Now, what is this punkt? Now, when you do this, this is a function that downloads specific data sets or resources needed for text preprocessing. Okay. So, punkt is basically a tokenizer that helps split sentences into words and or split paragraphs into sentences. So, either you split the sentence into different words or you split a paragraph into different sentences. Okay. Now, without downloading this, this function, the tokenization will not work. So, without importing these libraries, it will not work. So, most of the things this will not work at all. So, you have to import all these libraries. Okay. The next one is to import the library for the stopwords. Now, nltk.download stopwords. Now, this downloads a list of common words like the, is, and, in from nltk. Now, these words are often removed, as I have already said, right, because they do not add much meaning. Now, by running these commands, we are making sure that NLTK has the necessary tools for text tokenization and filtering out the stop words. Okay. Now, by now you have understood that most important thing is to tell meaningfully the computer what to do. So, the computer will not understand. So, that for that libraries have been made. So, first you import those libraries, and once you import those libraries, then the computer will understand it. Okay. Now, let us go to the next line of code. Okay. In the next line of code, we write hashtag define stop words and stemmer stop underscore words is equal to set stop words dot words English. Okay. Stemmer is equal to Porter stemmer. So, stop underscore words is dot words English actually gets a list of common English words like the, is, and, in that we are going to remove, okay, in the text analysis. Set and in the bracket converts this list into a set, which makes it faster to check if a word is a stop word or not. Now, stop words contain all the stop words we want to filter out. That stop underscore words, this library contains all the stop words we want to filter out. Now, Porter stemmer creates a stemmer object similarly, and this helps to bring the words to their root form, as I have already mentioned. Okay. Now, after this we will go to the again next code. Now, what is the next code? Load the cleaned Excel file. File path is already we know the file path, right. So, file path is TA1. Why? Because last class, if you remember, we had worked and we had saved this file as TA1. So, today we will be working on TA1 for further analysis. Okay. So, now what we did say? Now, the line of code is df is equal to pd dot read underscore excel and file path. So, by doing this, what is happening? You are telling pandas to load the Excel file into a data frame, right. So, which is a table like structure in Python, and df is the variable that stores this table. Okay. Now, we will look at the next line of code. Now, we are saying def process underscore text. Okay. So, now the next line of code is which is used is pd dot is null text. Now, this is used to check if the value of the text is not a number or it is either empty, missing or invalid. Okay. Now, this function immediately returns none without doing any further processing. So, if it finds something is empty or something is missing or invalid, it will immediately stop the processing and return as none. Okay. This step is very important because missing values can cause errors when processing text. So, for example, now input is none, right? There is an empty text. So, the function returns none and skips the processing. Okay. Then the next is we use the function try except block to catch any unexpected error while processing the text. Now, try, it means the function will attempt to process the text inside this block. If anything goes wrong, let us say there is an unexpected data type or something, the except block catches the error and returns again none. Okay. So, this prevents the program from crashing if an error occurs. Then we go for the tokenization. So, we here the function splits the input text into individual words using word underscore tokenized text from the NLTK library. Now, as you have understood, tokenization means breaking the sentence into smaller tokens or parts. Okay. So, these tokens can be words, punctuation marks or special symbols, right. So, already I have explained this, that if you have a sentence like I love programming and there is a, let us say, exclamation mark at the end. So, what is the output? Now, after tokenization it will become I 1, 2 love, 3 programming and then the exclamation mark 4. Okay. So, this step is very important because we process individually, process these words individually in the next steps. Okay. Then we go for removing the stop words. So, stop words are, as I have said, the common words like the, is, and, in, to, a or an, of. So, they have no relevance to the study and they do not add to the meaning or add any meaning to the sentence, right. So, the function only creates a new list that keeps only the important words. So, when you are doing this, it will only try to save those words which are giving any meaning, otherwise all those stop words will be removed, right. So, it checks if each each word in the tokenized text and removes if it is in the stop words list. So, we have imported that library. So, if it is there, it will check. If it is there in the stop word list, then it will remove it. The word is then converted to the lowercase before checking. So, like you write normally in English, T is capital, then H it, the, right, that becomes THE small, all in small, right. So, all these are different techniques which are used for stop word removal. Okay. Then we will go for the stemming, right. So, stemming, as we have seen, right. So, stemming helps you to, as I have already explained time and again, to simplify the words to the root form using the Porter stemmer. Okay. So, the library is Porter stemmer. So, by using that library we can bring the words to their root form. So, all those stemming helps in removing all those suffixes like ing, ed. So, back, backed, pack, packed, run, running. So, all this ing, ed, ly or s, extra s, table, tables. So, all these s, tables, and it removes those suffixes and converts the words to their base form. So, this makes the understanding much easier and analysis much easier. So, running will become run, for example. Happily will become happy, HAPPI, right. Cars will become car. So, this function will allow stemming to each word in the filtered list and create a new list with the stemmed words. Okay. Then we go for, after stemming, the function joins all the words back into a single string. So, first you tokenized it, then it checked for the any gap or any stop word or anything, and after all this correction again it will make a full string, right. So, a single string is again created by using the library the code dot join stemmed underscore tokens. Now, this, since tokenization splits the sentence into words, this step is needed to recreate a cleaned up version of the original text. So, you had a very jumbled up line which was lot of, there was slangs, errors, typos and mistakes and all. Now, all this has been removed after they have been divided. The the poor ones, the stop words, the commas, the full stops, all these have been removed, and then again it has to be brought back to like a sentence format, a string format. Okay. So, for example, in the sentence I love programming, and then we had that exclamation mark, right. So, now what will remain is only love program. For the final clean text will be love program. Okay. So, now the text is processed, cleaned and ready for further analysis. Now, once we have done all this, then the function returns the processed text. Okay. So, if everything goes well, it returns the clean and the transformed text, right? And if there is any error, so the it will return as none. So, instead of crashing the program, it will give you as a none, right? Now, the next code that we make is def processed underscore comments, right? So, this line creates a new column in the data frame called processed underscore comments, which will store the clean and the processed text. Okay. So, obviously, this is very important, because once you have the cleaned processed comment, then only the further analysis or the final analysis will be done. Otherwise, you would have done the analysis on the mistaken sentences or the wrong sentences with lot of errors and all. Now, that part is over. Okay. Now, after this, we will go to the apply process underscore text, right, function. Now, this method takes each comment in the column, processes it using the process underscore text function, and stores the clean result in the processed underscore comments. So, now in your file, there will be a new column which will be added up, which will be written as processed underscore comments or processed comments. Okay. So, this will tell you that there has been, and you can mark, you can check. If you check the uncleaned comments or and the cleaned ones, which is the processed comments, there is a lot of difference. Many words will not be there. It will be clean, clear, and error free. Okay. Then instead of manually doing this processing each comment, the automatic text cleaning process helps you to create a final output or a output file, which in our case we have given a name TA2. Okay. So, our output path is now TA2, and this is what we have replaced. If you can see here, so earlier we had TA1, now the output path is we have TA2 dot xlxx. Okay. So, this will save your entire all the processed comments in this file, right. Okay. So, once all this is over, now we will give a command to the machine, print the data frame after text processing. Now, for example, here the command is print bracket df dot head, and in the bracket we have given the number of rows. Okay. So, here for example, we have given 10. So, it will give you 10 10 lines, or you can say 10 rows, whatever it is, right. But do not worry, it is not standard, you can always change it. For example, now we will make it, let us say 15. So, when I make 15, what does it give me? Now, 15 lines, it is telling me 15 lines. Okay. So, all this you can make it 20, it depends on whatever you want to keep, right. So, this code displays the first 10 rows of the data frame, or 15 rows, 20 rows, whatever you have given of the data frame after processing the text. The print data frame after text processing prints the message before displaying the data. This helps the user understand what is being shown in the output, right. So, it will gives you some insights, right. So, what is being shown in the output? Now, the first 10 rows have been displayed to you, right. So, df dot head n is a pandas function that returns the first n rows of the data frame. So, n can be 10, 20, 5, whatever it is, right. But the default is 5 rows, right, and if you write 10, then it shows 10 rows, right. So, now with this you have got all the text pre-processing things are over, and now you have created a file which is TA2, which has got the clear data or the cleaned data. So, now after that pre-processing is done, so now we have a new file which is the TA2. So, now let us go to the TA2 file and see what changes have happened. So, the TA2 file has been saved here, right. So, let us open this file. So, now if you see, I think let us remove a few columns because they are unnecessary, they do not add any value. So, let us remove them for or hide them for some time, okay, so that you can understand it better. And from B to K. Now, it looks much better, you see. So, you have 3 columns now in front of you. So, first is the comment, that was the raw comment, right. So, column A is the raw comment, where you can see everything that was written in that Twitter or social media, YouTube, wherever. So, whatever you had scrapped or extracted, this is the original data, right. Then after this original data, the first line of progress was in the cleaned comments. So, cleaned comments we had saved in the TA1 stage, right. So, where if I go back to the TA1 file, I will show you there that what changes we had done, right. So, TA1, let us go to the TA1 file, and here you can see that we had gone for lower case, right, removed the HTML tags, removed the links, okay, removed numbers, and removed the special characters, so and punctuations, right. So that was the cleaning we had done, and auto correction was, spelling correction was done, and all these things was done. Then after the clean comments, then we went to the processed comments. Now if you go back to the TA2, now let's go back to TA2, and you see now the improvement of TA2 over TA1 is that we tokenized the words, right, and we removed the stop words and performed stemming, and again we made it a single string, right. So this is the improvement over the TA1. So the column A is the raw data, column B is the cleaned data which we did in the first stage, and then we went to the final one which is the pre-processed comments. Now you can see, so which is the column C, right. So okay, if we go to the top, so it is as it is written over it, go to the top and you see that comment, clean comments and processed comments. So if you go to any one line, let us see this line. Now this line is a raw sentence, at the rate adn 7771, no, all power belongs to people, right. Now this was corrected, some at the rate was removed, 771, those numbers were removed, and some things were removed, right. So Dean, no, all power belongs to the people, right. So then after that what we did, now Dean, power, belong, belongs became belong, right, and to has been removed, the has been removed, and people, if you can see, has become PEOPL, which is the, after stemming it has come to its root form. So now a machine will better understand the column C, which is the processed comments, okay. So this is your final data for further analysis, okay, right. I think you can have a look at it and you can see for yourself that there has been considerable change, significant change, right. So otherwise the if you had given the column A, the machine would not have understood anything. Column A, column B, column C. Column B is an improvement and column C is the best format, okay, for the machine to understand, right. So with this we have now got a clean data set, and now in the next coming class we will try to learn how to analyze the data with the processed underscore comments, this column C. We will try use this data and see how we will analyze the data for further benefit, right. So I think we are clear with what we have done today. We have the codes are there. We will also try to run this. You can do the same thing on Colab also, right. But sometimes Colab we do not do it because for some reason people might not have access to that and all, or sometimes it can crash also for some heavy sometimes it does crash. So we have shown, but we can also show you to how to work on Colab, right, and we can run through Colab also. So that link we will share it with you, so that you can use it for your benefit, you can run it and see, but some changes might be required, some tweaking might be required, which you might have to do it. Otherwise it is all the same. It is easier in fact, because Colab is always there on the internet. It can get saved also easily. So it is very nice, but slight very minor changes have to be done, which I will show you, right. So now as I said, we can also do it on the Colab, right. So what we will do is the same thing what we have done. If we want to do it, and some people love to do on different platforms in different ways. So Colab is also a very nice way of doing it. So let us work on Colab, how you can do it. So since it is easy because it is on the internet, so you can easily do it. You do not have to download and keep things with you. So let us do it in Colab also. So what we will do is, we will share this file with you, right, and once you open this file, this kind of a screen will be available to you, right. So you go to this Google Collaboratory, right, and automatically when you open this, this is how the screen will look like. Just it will take a second to run, right. So since now it is everything is there, so the code has been shared to you, the link has been shared to you. Just open up and then you have to run this file, right. So when you run this file, so it will take some time, okay, fine. So you can see it is getting tick marked. So since we have already run this, so it is showing it ticked, right. So run it, and as you are running, everything has been checked. So stop words, everything that you have done, the same thing is happening here. So you can choose the file here. So go to the choose the file. So the file earlier we had done on clean TA1, if you remember. So where we had the raw data was cleaned and kept as TA1. So run it, and now this is what we are getting, right. So the cleaned comments, right. So after that we will again go for tokenization, stop word removal and stemming. So which is the next pre-processing part. and once that is done, so let's run it. Okay. So you have a clean comments, then this is the TA2 file, right. So this is, you can see the next file where the output will be saved. So now the output file has been created, and now we can, this is the 10 lines, if you remember, that we are talking about, which is displaying being here. And now once this is also done, this is the processed comments. You see, we have written, it is written over here, the processed comments. So same result you have got. Now you can download this file, right. So this file now has been downloaded and stored in ta2.xlsx, right. So you can do it either way, what is convenient to you, but and we will share also the, so see, once if you see this, you will not learn, obviously. So the more and more you work on it, and you have a hands-on experience, hands-on practice, your learning will improve. Even I am learning, right. I am also learning, I am in the process of improvement. So nobody is perfect. Keep on working on it, keep on working, try new experiments, right. For example, collecting data through some sources and then putting it, cleaning it. Do this exercise again and again and again. Obviously you will get a mastery, and once you have a mastery, you can do miracle. You can, your research output will be tremendously improved, right. And you can do something that you were earlier never able to think, right. So if you are a manager of a company, you can do wonderful customer review analysis. If you are a researcher, you can do some very good text analysis on written novels, research documents, on some white papers. So there's a lot of potential, right. So anyway, with this text, but text pre-processing is very important. If you are, if you have understood it, if you have done it, then almost all your maximum part of your job is done, right. Then last part that remains is the final analysis, and that we will continue in the next lecture, right. So till then, take care and thank you very much.